Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to the Kajaria Ceramics Q3 FY21 results conference call hosted by UBS Securities Private Limited. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then 0 on your touchtone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Shaleen Kumar from UBS Securities. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thanks, Aisha. Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining this call. Today we have from management Mr. Ashok Kajaria, Chairman and Managing Director, Mr. Chetan Kajaria and Mr. Rishi Kajaria, Joint Managing Director, and Mr. Sanjeev Agarwal, Chief Financial Officer. I'll hand over the call now to management for their opening remark, and following which we will open the forum for Q&A. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, first and foremost, I hope and wish that your family, friends and colleagues have been safe from COVID, and I pray that all of us get over this crisis safely and quickly. We started with con call post Q2 numbers last time. We intend to continue with the same on a quarterly basis. I have with me my sons Chetan and Rishi, Sanjeev, our CFO. The tile industry witnessed gradual demand pickup from the month of July onwards. Tile consumption has found its way into the smaller cities and retail markets as the heat of pandemic was felt much more in the urban markets at that point of time. Tier 2 and below markets, Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3, and we believe will continue to thrive in future as well. And metros have also come back to 70% of what they were doing before. In Q2 con call, we had estimated a flat quarter 3. However, to our positive surprise, Q3 has seen an all-around sharp recovery in higher capacity utilizations, strong volumes, and significant traction in profitability. Kajaria has reported a double-digit volume growth in tiles in quarter 3, driven by good demand from tier 1, 2, 3 cities and also from metro. Also, bigger cities have come back to 75% level, that's metros, level in terms of sales. Our plants have operated at an average capacity utilization of almost 100% during the quarter, except one JV plant, that is Kosa, where one line is being converted from PVT to GVT for exports. Tile subsidiaries have reported profit of 11 crores in quarter 3 21 as compared to loss of 1 crore in the corresponding quarter. Revenue from bathware business grew by 36% to rupees 67 crores from rupees 50 crores in quarter 3 20. Revenue from plywood business also grew to 13 crores in quarter 3 21 from rupees 8 crores in quarter 3 FY20. Total turnover at consolidated level reached rupees 838 crores in quarter 3 F21 as compared to 741 crores in quarter 3 F20, a growth of 13%. Absolute EBITDA operating margin increased to 182 crores as compared to rupees 111 crores in quarter 3 F20, led by higher capacity utilization, plant efficiency, and improvement in subsidies. EBITDA margin for the quarter attained a new high of 21.68% as compared to 15% in the corresponding previous quarter. PAT in quarter 3 F21 has increased to rupees 118 crores as against 62 crores last year, same quarter. Working capital increased by 5 days, mainly due to reduction in creditors and higher advance payment of tax. With this, I take this opportunity of thanking you for joining us today. Over to Shaleen.
Yes, sir. Aisha, I think we can open up the forum for Q&A.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on your touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. The first question is from the line of Sujit Jain from ASK Investments. Please go ahead.
Sir, what was the gas price for the quarter average for us versus Q3 last year, and the same for 9 months? And what is the gas mix in terms of spot versus long term for us?
As far as the gas price is concerned, this year the gas price have been cheaper as far as our Gailpur and Sikandabad plants are concerned by almost 4.5 to 5 rupees per SCM, which I have shared in Q2 if you recall. And for 9 months it's almost the same scenario. April, May, nothing worked. We started working from 1st of June. So that scenario is maintained more or less in the first 7 months of the year, leaving aside April and May. And what was the second point?
If you can quantify the gas price, average price for us for the quarter.
The quarter average price for our plants in northern India is about 25.5 to 26 rupees per SCM.
So northern India, that will be spot price, right?
No, not spot price. This is a long-term price, spot price combination of whatever we are taking.
This is the average price for the company, right?
Yeah, average price for the company, because we are taking some long-term, we are taking some spot, we are taking some Henry Hub, so it is a combination of everything which is there for the company.
And versus 3Q last year, what was the price then?
The price when last year was between 30 to 31 per SCM.
And what is the mix of long term and short term?
Oh, that's depends on the plants, so it's different to quantify, but
it would be around 60%. Let's say 50% would be long term and 50% a combination of Henry Hub.
Secunderabad is 65% long term, 35% spot. In Gailpur is a combination of long term, spot and Henry Hub.
But at the company level, approximately?
At the company level, if the data is not there, we will let you know.
Okay. The other thing is that in the other segment, that is bathware, sanitary ware, everything put together, 80 crores of top line and 8% EBIT margin. Have we reached a scale, a critical mass where now we can sustainably make decent margins in this segment?
As far as bathware is concerned, sanitary ware and faucet, they have started making money from the quarter last 3 months, and it will be very positive for the next 3 months and for the years ahead. Lot of developments have been made in those plants in the last few months.
So my question is, what is the annual sales at which?
Don't mix both. Ply is concerned, we started that business in July 19. That this year we'll be doing a turnover of close to 40 crores. Next year we're targeting for 70 crores. That business is losing money. Next 2 years it may still lose money, but after that it will be workable because that's a new baby which we started. Yeah.
What I was coming at was that what is the annual sales at which it will sustainably make money? Is it 80 multiplied by 4? Have you reached that stage?
Which division are you talking about?
Others in segment, which is a combination of all of these things.
Which division are you talking about? I already said that bathware is already started making money, and they will be positive from here on. We have reached that critical mass. As far as ply is concerned, it will take another 2 years.
And sanitary ware?
Sanitary ware and bathware is the same thing, same company. Both are making money.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Sonali Salgaonkar from Jefferies India. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Good evening, team, and congratulations for a great set of numbers. So my first question is regarding the demand scenario in Q3 and even right now as we speak in January. So is it possible to give us an approximate month-wise demand trend in terms of percentages as compared to last year for Q3, and also urban housing versus rural? I mean, what is the scenario that you are seeing right now?
Sonali, thanks. As far as the demand is concerned, it's positive. Every month is positive. That's how you could see the numbers of Q3. Q4, as we are talking about, we are still early in the month of January, 21st of Jan. It is going to be positive. I wish to share one more information which you have not asked, but let me share with you. Next financial year, demand being positive in Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3, and the metros, we are looking at 20 to 25% volume growth in sales in next year.
That's FY22.
FY 21-22, yeah.
Yeah, 20 to 25% volume growth for the company. So that's quite encouraging.
For the tile division, because volume growth is tile division, other division will also grow that kind or better. But as I already said, the other divisions will grow even slightly more, but tile division will have a 20 to 25% volume growth.
Great, sir. So secondly, currently, what is our retail versus insti sales mix, and what is the value-added sales?
Retail sales is close today, right now, close to 80%. And 20% I would call it institutional sales. In institutional sales, you can see out of 20%, 8 to 10% will be government sales, where the payment is not an issue. But 10% is to the projects, large builders projects or small builders projects, where still the payment problem is very tough. They are getting through, things are better for the last 2 months, but still that problem persists of payment. So we have to be very cautious there. And with with metro being slow for the last few months and still at 75% of the capacity, tier 2, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, the problem of payments is not there, because for your information, the dealers are also giving lesser credit to their buyers and paying us more in time. So that's a positive change which has happened in COVID.
Understand, sir. Sir, and value-added sales right now, last quarter, I believe it was 60%.
It's close to that. Nothing much has changed, because now Grace Liquefied has also come in full swing. The plants are operating at 100%, so it could be 60, it could be 62, but more or less it's on same notes.
Understand, sir. So my second question is regarding the exports from Morbi. So the last 2 quarters we discussed that that is kind of sustaining the pricing in the domestic markets. Any update on the exports? Has it continued with that kind of traction, or probably it has decreased the pace?
Exports is a bit, as far as Morbi is concerned. Till 31st of last year, the exports was close to about 9,500 crores. As you recall, in the months of April, May, June, there was hardly any business, no plants were running. As of December, they have already done exports of 7,300 crores. Ending March, they will be doing exports of 11,000 to 11,500 crores. Because 2 things happened. One, anti-dumping has put by America on Chinese goods, Chinese types. A lot of countries have put anti-dumping duty on China. Also with the sentiment of whatever is prevailing, anti-Chinese, a lot of export business has come to India. More to Morbi because they are closer to the port, you can say. And secondly, India is the second most competitive player in the world after China, as far as production is concerned.
Understand. So we are envisaging exports to grow at about 20% year on year, from 9,000 crores to about 11,000 crores this year.
Next year, according to me, it will grow by another 25-30%, the way things are.
Understand. So it's a sustained thing.
Yes, very much sustained.
Right. And sir, last question from my side, any update on CapEx? I mean, are we thinking of adding any more capacity, or we are good to go as of now?
See, if we have to grow at 20-25% next year, and after that 15% plus for the next 2 years at least, that we're talking about a 3-year horizon. This year the capex is close to about 50 crores. Next year the capex is for 150 to 200 crores. That will not be next year, it will be for the year after, because आप capex पहले साल करोगे जब भी तो अगले साल capacity आएगी. So looking at that, the capex will be close to 150 to 200 crores next year.
Understand. So, and just one last clarification. You mentioned that in FY 23 and 24, that's the next 2 years after the next year, we are envisaging a growth of 15% in volume, right?
In volume terms.
Sure. Understand, sir, and all the best. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Saurabh Tukkat from HDFC Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi sir. Good evening. This is Rajesh here from HDFC Securities. Yeah.
Sir, your voice is not clear.
Congratulations on. Yeah, just one second. Hello, is it better now?
Better, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is Rajesh here from HDFC Securities. Congratulations on very good set of numbers.
Thanks, sir.
Sir, just wanted to, in terms of your volume growth, as you said that, you have seen good growth for the whole of the quarter. We see that the outsourced volume is growing at a much faster pace. So, this has been a trend for last few years also. So what is the, strategy there? Will you continue to be asset light from that perspective? when you're looking at 20% odd plus volume growth in FY22 and 10 to 15% thereafter, would that largely be driven from outsourced volumes?
No. I just said to Sonali that next year we are at 20 to 25% volume growth.
Correct.
As you are aware, first 3 months of this year, nothing much happened. So all our plants have not operated at any capacity for the first 3 months. So most of it will come from our plants. Wherever outsourcing is required, we'll do outsourcing. Secondly, I said we'll have a capex of 150 to 200 crores in the financial year 21-22. So that's a capacity for 22-23, and going forward it will be like that. So it's a mix of your own production and outsourcing, whatever is required at that situation.
We take a judicious call. All the options are open in front of us.
Okay. And sir, on the fuel pricing, gas pricing, when you mentioned the 26 rupees, what is the average price for you, as we talk today, because of this, surge in spot prices that we are seeing?
As far as
what is the outlook?
I have already answered that, but still I'll repeat. As far as our 2 north plants are concerned, Gailpur and Secunderabad, we have already covered our requirements, so there is not much of a change. There will be a slight price increase of about 3 to 4% in the quarter ahead, that is January-March quarter. As far as Morbi is concerned, whatever the price GSPC will charge, we have to pay. And as you are aware, they have increased the prices by 4 rupees per SCM on 24th of December 2020. There is no such thing as tying up long term. Yeah.
Okay, great. And lastly, before I'll move back in queue, in terms of export market now getting buoyant for India, 2 things. First is like with Morbi players focusing more on exports, what sort of tailwinds will that entail for domestic players like you? And also, secondly, are you targeting to increase your export sales, riding on this sentiment gain that we are getting?
See, they will continue to do exports. As I said earlier, it's a 20-25% plus growth for the next at least 2-3 years for exports, because of the Chinese vacating a lot of area, because of anti-dumping, anti-Chinese sentiment. India will be the biggest gainer as far as and this will be mostly catered by the players from Morbi. As far as the organized players, including Kajaria, our focus is more on domestic market. We'll continue to do some exports, but as you know, exports there is very little margin. So if you are looking at the numbers of Kajaria, you will yourself say, please don't export.
Thank you. We would request the current participant to please come back in the question queue for any follow-up questions, as we have several participants waiting for their turn. In order to ensure the management is able to address all the questions in queue, we request you to please limit your questions to 2 per participant. The next question is from the line of Madhav Mehta from Fidelity Investments. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Good evening. Thank you so much for your time. So my question was basically on the EBITDA margin. So last time on the Q2 call, you said that you were expecting margins to go down, but you've actually done better, which is really good news. But if you could help us with what led to the good margins this quarter, and then what should we expect in sort of FY22 in the time to come?
See, as far as Q4 margins are concerned, there will be some pressure because of the increase in some gas. Some paper prices have gone up, that is for the boxes, and some raw material prices have also gone up, like feldspar and quartz and silica. The impact will be close to about 1.5%. But what we are trying to do, instead of increasing our prices, the prices will harden, and there are 2 ways to do it. One is to increase prices, second is to cut the discounts which we give to the dealers. So as we go forward, we hope to do that. As a result, the margins will not get affected much. It will be close to 20% as we move forward. I think we are looking at a scenario that we should be close to 20% as we go forward also. For the year ahead also, we are looking at almost the same scenario.
Okay. So because that's a meaningful sort of uptick from what Kajaria sort of, or we used to expect that 16-17% range for some time. So 20% basically is that very good demand supply environment for tiles that's driving the positive sentiment now on the margin side?
You are more aware of this than me. The building industry on a positive side, and every analyst is saying and every builder is saying that my future for the next 2-3 years is positive. So whatever we are seeing in all building materials, including tiles, is a result of the scenario that building industry is positive. And a building industry, as we all know, last 4 or 5 years was very, very tough. We have still survived. Manage our affairs. The building industry is positive. The demand will be more, number one. And number two, the margins will be protected because lot of pressure was there from Morbi, and fortunately, since they are exporting a lot, that pressure has eased for all organized players in the domestic market.
Got it. Understood. Great, sir. All the best, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Neha Talreja from Edelweiss. Please go ahead.
Thanks a lot for the opportunity and congratulations on very good set of numbers. My question was an extension to the previous participant question related to margins. So we have seen dynamic improvement pre-COVID versus now. So we were running at about 14 to 15% margins over a period of time, and now we have crossed that 20% barriers in plus 2 quarters, and we expect that to continue. How much of it would be, because of the gas prices, and is there any sustainable cost-cutting measure that we have taken compared to last 2 years that we are looking at, sustaining going ahead, and because of which the margin increase that we are targeting?
See, 2-3 things have happened if you see. One, the gas prices. They have been soft compared to 1920. 2021 has been lesser than this. The impact of that should be close to 2% as far as margins are concerned. Secondly, from the month of July, we started our production post-COVID, during COVID. And from the month of September, all the plants are running at full capacity except Kosa, one line, which is, I already said, that's been converted from polished vitrified to glazed vitrified. In last year, if I tell you honestly, all the plants have not worked fully. Once in a while, we had to close a line here and there. So that's also efficiency. Thirdly, we have cut down on the budget this year from 45 crore, from 100 last year.
The advertisement we have...
Advertisement budget we have scaled down to almost 50% of what we spent last year. Going forward, I don't think we'll go with that. We'll slightly increase, but it will not be like before because things are much better, markets are much better, and we should take, जैसे अगर हमारा 100 रुपया था in the year 1920, this year it will be close to 45, and next year it will go up to 70. So that's the scenario.
I'll add one more thing, Sneha. Another reason for hardening, which has contributed to the margin strengthening, is a improvement in profitability of joint ventures.
Yeah.
As Mr. Kajaria said in the opening statement, we reported a profit of 11 crore against a loss of 1 crore. And going forward, every quarter you would see an improvement in subsidiaries, especially the Bathware, which has been making losses and now started making profit, and every quarter would be a better quarter, which will add to the overall margins.
Right. So just 2 extension questions to it that was helpful regarding Bathware. What is the sustainable change which has taken place now in Bathware, and what is the kind of a run rate that we are looking at? And if at all you could mention the reason for such a big turnaround in the current year.
So what we've done, this is Rishi Kajaria. What we've done in Bathware is we've introduced a lot of new products. Secondly, in the same time, we have strengthened our distribution network. And so that's why this quarter was very, very good. And going forward, we see that it's not going to go down. It's only going to go up. Things are, people have accepted the product now well. And we're looking for a very positive scenario from here.
Thank you. We would request the current participant to please come back in the question queue for any follow-up questions, as we have several participants waiting for their turn. The next question is from the line of Ritesh Shah from Investec. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi sir. Thanks for the opportunity and congratulations on a very good set of numbers. Sir, my first question is we recorded double-digit volume growth, but how much would have been the market growth? I just wanted to understand, would we have gained market share, and how much would that be?
See, we have to have gain of market share for 2 reasons. Lot of market of Morbi players, which was there in the domestic, has switched over to exports. So market per se may not have grown very much, but last 3 months the markets have also growing, and partly we have taken a market share.
Okay.
So second question is on distribution reach, specifically for the tiles business. Earlier you had indicated that our target is to reach all the constituencies in the country. So are we back on track, given things are normalizing, our numbers are actually coming very, very good. So how should one look at the distribution strategy over here going forward?
I am glad you asked this question, because if you recall, last time I had said we have still got about 175 Lok Sabha constituencies which we have not been able to cover. In last 9 months, nothing much has been done due to COVID. But I can assure you that next financial year, if things get back to normal, which I hope it will from April, we will be able to cover at least 100 to 150 Lok Sabha constituencies next year, because that will be the next driver of growth.
Okay, that's useful, sir. I'll join back the queue. I have more questions. Thank you so much, and good luck.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Achal Lohade from JM Financial. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity, sir. Congratulations for the great earning. My first question is, with respect to bathware, is there any change in the product pricing, positioning, and what is the margin, if you could guide for the third quarter for bathware was?
So one, we introduced a lot of value-added products in Kerovit, which is giving us higher realization. And we also increased prices in line with all the other people have also done, so which has lead to increase in margin. So this quarter was a good quarter for us, and we are very sure that we're going to sustain it from here on.
This quarter the margin was in good double digit, let's say around 13-14% against single digit in the last year.
Right, and what is the extent of price increase, just to cover that point, sir?
We have increased prices to the extent of 6 to 9%.
That's great.
So a combination of price increase and value-added products is giving us this margin. And we feel that it is definitely sustainable from here on.
Understood. And in terms of the mix for our tiles division, how much would be like the top 10 cities mix, and has that absolute number declined significantly? As you said, the metros are still at 70-75% of last year.
I think one of the very interesting questions that this mix has totally changed this financial year. This mix has totally changed, except a few top people who are doing still very well, like our number one dealer from Coimbatore is still number one all the way. But a lot of things, number two is from Faridabad, they are still there. But a lot of numbers have changed because as I said earlier, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 have performed very, very well. They have been doing 110% of what some of them were doing, 110% of what they were doing last year. Metros started with 40-45% from July. They have come to the level of 70-75%. They are not fully up to 100% pre-COVID.
So we're getting a lot of positive response from places like Sikar, Lucknow, Varanasi. The tier 1, tier 2, they are giving us the sales from these places are very, very good.
Interesting. And just last question, if I may. If I understand correctly, you said 50 crores for FY21 in terms of capex, and FY22 capex will be 150 odd crores.
150 to 200 crores.
150 to 200.
Yeah.
Understood. So basically, if I have to ask you in terms of the, will it be a greenfield plant? Will it be a brownfield expansion? If yes, how much excess capacity or excess space do we have to add capacities in our locations, sir?
At least in 21-22, we are not talking about a greenfield plant. In 21-22, whatever capex we are talking about, we are going to expand our existing plants. I can share that informally with you. That we are talking about expanding at Kajaria Tiles plant in Kalahasti. We are also going to modernize and some change, increase the capacity at the Gaipur plant for ceramics. So all this will happen. There is no greenfield project in 21-22 as of now.
Understood. This is very helpful. And what would be the approx capacity addition with that number, sir? Let's say at 200 crores capex.
200 crores capex will be about 10 million square meters.
Understood. That's very helpful, sir. Thank you so much. Wish you all the best.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Girish Chaudhary from Spark Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good evening, sir. Thanks for taking my question. Firstly, just harping on the volume growth, 11% definitely is good. But then if I see your capacity utilization at your JVs, barring KOSA, every asset operated at 100%. And also your own manufacturing capacity is operated at close to 95%. So my point is, was the growth constrained due to these capacities running at the optimum level? And then let's say if you had excess capacity available, would you have grown at a higher rate? I just want your views on this.
There is no excess capacity right now. You are forgetting one thing. We are in the COVID era, number one. Nothing worked for April, May, June, and only on 1st of June we started our small capacity at Gailpur, partly in Malutana on 20th of June, partly one plant of Jack. So what we are talking about is almost 3 months in this financial year because of COVID, nothing worked. And what we are seeing the numbers for quarter 2 and quarter 3. Believe me, when we opened our offices on 4th of May, we never could dream that this will happen. So it's a positive scenario. Going forward, we are seeing a positive scenario because of the ground reality which is happening, the feedback from the dealers, the uptake from the dealers. And we hope it will continue like that in the near future.
Okay. Sir, and on the second question on the bathware division, you did mention on the margin sustainability. Currently, you're doing a 80 crore, which is like roughly 330 crores annualized number. So what's the outlook here in terms of if one has to see this division from a 2 to 3 year perspective, and also the related investments?
Yeah. In spite of COVID, last year this division did 186 crores to be very precise. This year we are looking at 210 crores, which is still a growth in terms of volume because of the division doing well. As Rishi said earlier, a lot of new products have been launched in both bathware and sanitary ware, the result of which is there you are seeing. Secondly, regarding the price increase, it is only happened from 1st of January. There was no price change because a lot of raw material costs have gone up. Brass has gone up by 20-25%, as you are aware.
We would request the participants to please stay connected as the line for the management got disconnected. Mr. Agarwal?
Yes.
Yeah, you can
Please.
go ahead.
Yes. Yeah, you can connect with the... Is there any question?
Yes, sir. We have the question from... There was the current participant, Girish Chaudhary.
Yes, Girish. Yeah, hi. Girish here. Sir,
yeah.
So I was just asking on the bathware division, just to get a sense on the revenue outlook for the 2 to 3 year perspective.
Yeah. We are looking at last year we did 186 crores in bathware, sanitary ware combined. This year, in spite of 3 months no working, we are looking at a scenario where we should be doing 210 crores, which is still a positive growth. And next year, we are looking at anywhere around 280-290 crores of bathware. As far as the cost of raw materials have gone up, for your information, non-ferrous metals have gone up by 20-25%. We use brass for KBPL. Cost of transportation have gone up, inland transportation for raw materials. And looking at everything, some price increase has taken place, which is effective from 1st of January 2021, as Rishi said, between 6 to 9%. And for your information, other competitors such as Cera and Jaguar have also increased their prices.
Thank you. We would request the current participant to please come back in the question queue for any follow-up questions, as we have several participants waiting for their turn. The next question is from the line of Nehal Shah, ICICI Securities. Please go ahead.
Congratulations, sir, for an excellent set of numbers.
Thank you.
Sir, a couple of questions. One on the GVT. Now GVT as a category, we've seen last 2 years under tremendous pressure. With the kind of exports lever Morbi has, and particularly what we're seeing is GVT getting exported incrementally into territories like US, Europe, and UK. Do you think there is a possibility of a price increase likely going forward? Is there a possibility of that happening, sir?
Nehal, 2 things. Price increase we'll see as we go along, but right now we have to make sure we sell our complete volumes. Now with the Tirupati plant starting, we are getting a good revenue share in the south market. So we have to first make sure that we do all that. And then we'll see after 2-3 months whether we want to see a price increase or no. Secondly, for the export market, as we discussed, that we are also converting our COSA line to GBT so that we can cater to exports from there. So that we have some foot in the thing there also, in the export market.
Right. So the change in model and COSA, will that fetch better realization and margins as compared to what we are doing earlier? And where would we be exporting to?
We'll be exporting to all over.
Okay.
And since there's so much of exports happening for GVT from Morbi, we said, and this line was a old line, we said let's convert it into GVT and let's see how it will shape up. But the demand is a lot, so I'm sure we'll do some exports out of it. Where exactly, we'll work on it. We are getting a lot of inquiries from everywhere, US, Gulf, Europe, everywhere the inquiries are there.
Sure.
So this will cater to that.
Sure. So exports will not actually lead to a decline in margins for COSA. That's what you're saying.
No. It will be used. If the capacity was idle, we'll utilizing that capacity.
Thank you. We would request the current participant to please come back in the question queue for any follow-up questions. The next question is from the line of Pulkit Patni from Goldman Sachs. Please go ahead.
Thanks a lot for taking my questions. Ashokji, you mentioned that you are expecting that export from Morbi will continue and that leaves a much bigger playing field for us in the domestic market. But if we go back a couple of years where Morbi was very aggressive, the price competition in the domestic market was very strong. Now, given the fact that we are already touching 20% margins in the domestic market, I just wanted to get a sense on why you feel confident that the domestic market is going to remain as profitable as it has been for us for the last couple of quarters, and the companies focused on export are not likely to come back and focus on the domestic market. That would be my question number one.
Let's answer question number one first. See, as far as the predictability is concerned, I cannot say anything what will happen tomorrow. But what is the situation now and why it will happen, I can share with you. See, once you are out of the domestic market, to come back in the domestic market is not easy, number one. Number two, not only Kajaria, all the organized players like Kajaria, Somany, Johnson, Asian Granito, they are making a strong foothold in the domestic market. And ultimately, when you have a dealer network which is merit to you, he will not go here and there, and that has been the strength of Kajaria and many others. Exports is lucrative for them for two reasons. One, the export markets have opened up. A whole lot of export market have opened up for two reasons. One, the biggest market of exports today is USA. Not from India, from the world also. China was doing very large exports. All of a sudden, the anti-dumping duties have been put on China to the extent of 250% to 325% on Chinese products. Secondly, there is Chinese sentiment all over the world. This has resulted in a lot of exports. Nobody asked me, but let me share this information with you. Almost 50 to 60 new plants are coming, which somebody may ask, but let me share with you all. 50 to 60 new plants are coming in Morbi, out of which I would say close to 45 are for GVT, mainly for exports. Next, another thing I would like to add, just for your information. We have about 15 plants of large format tiles. All of you are aware. 1200 by 1200 by 2400. These in China, they are as of today about 5, 6, 10 lines. They are putting 100 lines in this financial year, in the coming financial year, but in this calendar year. So that also will generate more exports, more growth will come. So basically, you take it that Morbi will focus on exports. Some of the leading players like Varmora, Simpolo, they are in the domestic market as well, and they will continue to be so. And Asian Granito, of course, is a listed player. So it will be a balance of domestic and exports. They will focus on exports, will continue to focus on domestic markets.
Sure. No, that's very useful context. My second question would be, again, if I look at say 2-year time period, what is the kind of rough price increase that you think the industry could take over this period?
Can't answer that today. See, you have to understand one thing. Every meeting you talk about a price increase. Please understand it's a COVID era. Things have not become normal in the country or in the world. So we are no exceptions that we can talk about the pricing. Rishi just shared a few minutes back that our first priority is that our plants are should run at 100%. Number one, that's our first priority. Nothing else comes in between. And doing that, we have shown you the numbers for the quarter 3. Now, we didn't expect these numbers, believe me. Quarter 2, when we talked after the results, we didn't expect. Going forward, we are also saying, I already made a statement to Sonali, that we are looking at 20 to 25% volume growth for the year ahead. Now, for that, you have to do all kinds of things, but you can't think of a price increase. Gas prices have declined, for which we got advantage from 1920 to 2021. We are doing all kinds of things because running your plants at full capacity also is a very great thing. Believe me, it reduces the cost in various ways. So let's not talk about the price increase. Let's talk about the focus on running your plants 100% and increasing your volumes as you go along.
And Pulkit, we have not taken the price increase, but we have there is a hardening in the selling price. In the Q3, there's been a 2% increase in the average selling price as compared to Q2. So we are reducing the discount, reducing the scheme, so that will automatically result in improvement and hardening of the selling price, which will take care of some increase in cost due to gas or raw materials.
Thank you. We would request the current participant to please come back in the question queue for any follow-up questions. The next question is from the line of Abhishek Ghosh from DSP Mutual Fund. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Sir, one of the reasons also why we see margin improvement is very good rationalization on the employee cost part of it. So how should one look at it? Is there a thought process of increasing more revenues with lesser increase in employee expenses? If you can just help us understand that aspect. Thanks.
The first answer is we have reversed, but whatever reinstated the salary of the people for the quarter 3. That's number one. And whatever you are seeing quarter 3 is after reinstating the salary part. When we are talking about the growth of next year and the 2 years ahead, basically you take it that there will be no increase in manpower because manpower is there already. When the volumes increase, your cost of manpower as an organization comes down in terms of percentage. So basically the manpower will not increase if the sale numbers go up. So automatically that answers a lot of points which you are talking about.
Okay, that's helpful. Other question is, we've seen also a very sharp improvement in the JV profitability. Also the gas prices are very soft and also obviously with GST increasing prices, some of it will get reversed. But if you can just help us understand your thought on the JV profitability. That's the only thing.
See, JV, if you recall, last 1 year, we had 1 year before, we had a lot of problems. We started correction. 2021 was a correction year. Actually, the correction started in 1920 itself. Now, if you look at the JVs, I read it out again. Venar, number 1, it is already in profit. Jax, already in profit. Kosa, we are making some losses because the one line has not been operating for the last 3, 4, 5 months. As a result, we are making some losses. But once it gets converted to the grades liquefied and export starts, it will also become profitable. Bathware has been very positive, both sanitary ware and faucets. Ply, we are making some losses because it's a new division. We started in July 2019. And as I said earlier, for the next 2 years, the sales will go up from 40 to, this year we are targeting at 40 crores. Next year we are targeting at 70 crores. But in spite of that, there will be some losses for the next 2 years because of the organization that you have to build in as you go along. And after that, it should be positive.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Shaleen Kumar from UBS Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thanks for the opportunity. Sir, just one question from my side. I could see that you have given a good interim dividend of 10 rupees. So how should we see this? Is it like a one-time thing, or should we expect good dividend going forward as well? Given we are talking about reasonably good scenario.
Shaleen, we cleared our dividend policy at the board meeting. We had a policy of giving 20 to 25% dividend of our net profit. That was our current policy, which we improved to 40 to 50% at the board meeting today. So whatever we have done, keeping that in mind, we said we have a excess cash flow which we are keep parking at the bank within 4 to 5%. Let it go back to investors, and that's why we declared an interim dividend of 10 rupees per share.
Shaleen, the thing is that it is not required to report to the to stock exchange about the policy. So we have put our policy on our website. So many people may not have known this. So it is good that you asked this question. And I've been wondering, every time people would ask me what you are going to do with the cash, what you are doing with the cash. And then once we have taken a decision, nobody has asked the question what we have done. So I expect at least some.
Sure, sir. Sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Ashish Jain from Macquarie. Please go ahead. Ashish, I would request you to please unmute yourself if muted from the handset. As there is no response from the current participant, I have muted the line. The next question is from the line of Omkar Kulkarni from Shree Investments. Please go ahead.
Yeah, my question was regarding, as you said, 150 to 200 crore capex for the next financial year. So how much free cash flow you are generating, say, by like every quarter, and how much would be funded by the internal accruals from that, and subsequently after 2 years?
We already have a cash of around 450 crore as of today. So going forward, every year our capex would be lower than our internal accrual. For the capex and dividend, we are not going to take any loan. Even we would be having sufficient good cash balance.
Okay, but the question is approximately how much free cash flow you are generating every quarter, or say
you can
in a year?
The profit, you can add the profit with depreciation, you would know how much cash I am generating.
Correct. So that would the capex would be
capex would be much lower than, suppose this year, suppose we are making a profit of 300 crore based on 3 months profitability. So assuming, suppose we make a profit of 400 crore, so you add 125 crore depreciation to 525 crore. So deduct that dividend, and the balance is sufficient. 250 crore is what we are guiding our capex. 150 to 200 crore.
Okay. The next question is regarding, you have said that approximately for the next 3 years you would be growing at, say, 20%, 25% for the next year, and around 15% for the next years. So around 20% growth you are expecting. So
don't mix. Next year, next year we are talking about 20 to 25% volume growth, and for the next 2 years after that, 15% plus volume growth. But don't mix and average out. Don't mix that, please.
Thank you. We would request the current participant to please come back in the question queue for any
the last question only.
Sure. The next question is from the line of Farhan Amlani from SG Investment. Please go ahead.
Hello. Good evening, everyone. I have a couple of questions. One is regarding the plywood segment. In the plywood segment, which is normally seen as a low margin business, and there is a lot of competition from the unorganized and semi-organized manufacturers. So how would you how would you gain market share there? And the second question is, we have a...
Hello.
Hi.
Yes, please.
The return on equity in our business is decreasing. So if you can give any guidance regarding the same. Thank you.
This is Chetan Kajaria. I'll answer the first question. Plywood was a highly unorganized sector. It's a 16,000 crore industry, out of which organized players are only 2, Century and Green, having a turnover of 1,000 crore each. Rest are between 4,000 to 5,000 crore of regional players. Rest are all unorganized. With the GST coming in of 18%, this is helping us gain market share over the unorganized and the regional players. And we see this business growing forward because of the consolidation happening in this vertical due to the GST factor. For question number 2, I'll just refer you to Mr. Sanjeev Agarwal, our CFO.
See, the return on equity is down because of its calculation. See, we are calculating the return on equity on the average of 31st March equity and 31st December 20 equity. And you know the first quarter we didn't make money. So that is why the equity is down. And another thing is that we
now we have formed a policy of dividend. So there is a lot of cash was accumulating at the net worth. So that is why the dividend equity was down. So as we start paying the dividend, and we start making money going forward, the return on equity will go up going forward.
Okay, thank you and congrats for a good set of numbers.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was the last question. I now hand the conference over to the management for closing comments.
I thank UBS for organizing, Shaleen, for organizing this conference. I'm thankful to all the participants who have been there today, listen to us patiently, and we'll be too happy to have any interaction if anybody would like on a level, management level also, at a later date. Thanks a lot for everybody for joining us today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
On behalf of UBS Securities, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines.